Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here. How you doing? Right, it's Tuesday. Tuesday is request day, and today's map was requested by Madog quite some time ago. It's one of the oldest maps on the request list. But before we do anything with this, I want to remind you that the new mini-series of City Edition starts tonight at 6 o'clock UK time. It's Olongapo City, Philippines by Mismoth and Gilbert. Episode 1 of 4 is tonight and every Tuesday this month. And it's all recorded, so it's all going to be good, I know it. Time for your daily reminder? Yes, that's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thank you very much for your support. Let's crack on and do today's map. It's Odilon by Mikhail. Now, as we've said, Mikhail has done a lot of maps. 31 so far. We have reviewed 4 of them. Let's have a look at that start square, shall we? There it is. The 4 we've reviewed are very middly scores. Let's go to the resources, and that is field painting extraordinaire, very stylized. And off to the workshop. Now the workshop, yeah, they need to do a little bit of work on their workshopness. Very good to have bilingual, which is great. There are actually 3 links to the map collection. Thank you very much for that. And all the trees, it'd be nice to have a required list because you have to click each one of those individually to be sure that you've got them. We're using the Stray Cats, a theme, a nature theme, and for the first time in a long time, the Spitfire LUT. So it's good to actually try a different LUT for a change. Not one of my favourites, but hey, it's not all about me, you know. So yes, we've done 4 of their maps in the past, episodes 121, 157, a little bit of jinky janky going on there, 439 and 530, and they scored 8 stars in the first one, 11 in the second, and then 9 and 9 in the last 2, so pretty middly. Now I'm looking at the roads here, and they're clearly hand-drawn. This isn't a parallel road tool map, and it's not bad. It's just 1 or 2 places there are jinky jankies, or there are like there's a little bit of more of a winky wonky than a jinky janky there. Yes, we do have our own language on this channel. And only I understand what the hell I'm talking about. But apart from the real saddos who watch all the shows, you know who you are, guys. You know who you are. Okay, now this isn't the start square. This is a potential start location. Now, with all of Mikhail's maps, they have this field layout, which means that if you treat them as little districts that you're buying into, so just buying tiles, buy that field, and then buy the field next to it, and then one next to that as well, and that will stop you from building a straightforward grid city. I think that's about the only reason I would use Mikhail's fields. They don't work for me. Anything which is all trees I would convert into parks. As for the hedgerows, well, the hedgerows are incredibly wide, so wide that I wouldn't even call them hedgerows. I'd call them borders. The Sharpie lines made out of trees. I'm not sure actually what I'd call these things, but anyway, yes, Mikhail. I kind of like Mikhail's work, even though I don't feel that they are like the best or the most exciting maps on the workshop. I do like their style, and specifically, I mean, if there was an award for best thumbnails, they would be right up in the Premier Division for thumbnails. And I think that's one of the reasons why they probably get as many subscribers as they do, because the thumbnails are really enticing. The maps are great builders maps, especially if you're a fairly new player, because there's always a lot of flat build playing, and the artwork with the maps is in 2 dimensions generally, although it's not entirely flat. It's not a perfectly flat map. We will check that out after the interval. Here's your this is the start square intersection. No, it's not. It's not. This one goes off to the fog. I lied. I lied to you. It's a perfectly fine intersection, this one. I have no issues with this. Even the pillars, I was a bit worried about the pillars, but the pillars, look at these pillars. Absolutely fine with those. I mean, it's a little bit worrying if you're taking that at high speed, but you've got to have a pillar somewhere, and there is not in the highway. Down here, if you've got Traffic Manager Present Edition, you may want to use it on this to stop traffic cutting across two lanes to get into the opposite lane. I'm seeing a lot of this, and it causes a little bit of backup every now and then. So I would, if you're using Traffic Manager Present Edition, that is definitely probably the first thing you'll want to fix with this particular map before you go any further. Well, of course, once you buy that tile, before you go any further. Because if you're going to play, you might as well play vanilla rules. It's a kind of map that entices you to want to play kind of vanilla rules. It's not entirely vanilla, but it is obviously a low requirement map. Now, this is, I promise you, the start square intersection that we got there in the end. Very nice indeed. Once again, we've got the fields to buy into, and nice clear fields. There's 1 or 2 stray trees in that field by the looks of it, but it's all good. Everything is smashing, lovely, marvellous down there. Now, this intersection, it's built a little bit on a hill. Okay, now because of that, I mean, when we come down here, we can see this. If I get down there, can you see that? Let's call up the terrain. Yeah, there you go, built on a hill. But it's a flat intersection, which means that it's actually going slightly uphill where it wouldn't normally, which means that this, especially this up ramp here, this is a bit steeper than I would like it to be. Now, I'm not going to do a really good job of this. I'm just going to do, I mean, this is real time. I just want to show you what we could do. Let me call up move it, and let's deselect everything apart from the nodes and segments. Building's gone, thank you very much. We'll just draw out that, probably want to, and we don't want that segment. Yeah, this is not going to be perfect, but it'll do. We're just going to drop the whole lot with the page down button. Thank you very much, Move It. Thank you, SamSamTS. Oh, lovely. I know it's cuboid now, but Sam, it was their original work. And now we drop that down. Now it comes in, it stays a lot flatter. We haven't got any street light clipping. It's plenty high enough there as well. This stays much flatter around here, and then the down ramp, if we would start it from here, would be better still. But even as it is, we don't have that really steep down ramp, so that's a big improvement. Right, so what's next? Ah, yes, it's the asset review. Hang on a minute. We got trees growing where there weren't trees before. Yes, it's Pidelmo's Fir Tree. Mr. Maison isn't the only person who makes trees on the workshop. Pidelmo is right up there in terms of quality and quantity. Look at all these. Factoids, because factoids. Rwanda in Central Africa has less than 1 telephone per 1,000 people. Once again, this was written in the 1980s. It may not be true. Let me try a different one just in case. Disposable sanitary protection is not available in Russia. And once again, 1980s. I'm guessing disposable sanitary protection is now available in Russia. But anyway, Fir Tree by Pidelmo. They are lovely. Look at these. These are really, really nice. I would say a new essential tree for your ever-growing list of workshop items. Fir Tree by Pidelmo, today's asset of the day. And back to the roads. Odilon. Is that Odilon or Odilon? I'm going with Odilon. I think it's kind of like more musical. Odilon. Yes, commercial. That reminds me, there'll be an intermission coming along soon. Not too soon though. We have got some rail on this map to explore. Okay, so the roads, I think we pretty much have worked out that the roads are of a good standard, if not Premier Division standard. They are lined all the way with these very, very wide hedges, and there's not really anything too much to worry about, just some tweaking here and there to make things just a little bit perfect, and a little bit of drift there. You can see the roads coming together and moving apart. It's not an issue. It's really not an issue. If you're playing vanilla rules, and I suspect most people that are taking on this map are fairly new to the game, I would definitely have played this as one of my first maps. I would have been very happy to play this as one of my first maps to get on with if I knew that such maps existed. I remember the first map that I downloaded and it was completely unplayable and I lost all faith. Hence, actually in time, what map was born, because oh, by the way, the rails, there's a little bit of uppy downy with the rail. There's a little bit of uppy down. It's not a perfectly flat terrain, but once again, it's well within tolerance for a map like this. Quite accepting of this. But yes, I was struggling to find a decent map to play on, and I found one that I really liked, and I started a YouTube series on it, Lynchia that was, and to this day I still stand by. I think that was a really fun map. It was far from a realism map. It was one of those fantasy crazy creation maps that I just really liked it. But of course we move on, we evolve, we grow, and let's just check it out. This rail's just going forever. It's going on forever and ever. We're nowhere near the fog. Oh, can we hurry along? Let's come down here. Let's just check to see if there's any tree encroachment down here. I think there probably is, you know, down here. There's got to be a branch along here that is touching those catenaries. I'm not going to look for it, but yeah, it's got to be. One of these is definitely. So yes, oh, now here I would change. We've got a little bit of a bridge. It's quite a gentle slope up to the bridge. It's not the worst thing in the world. But I have a solution to make this a little bit better. I think we'll do that after the intermission as well. Because I fancy a cup of coffee. And nobody's going to make it for me. So I'm going to go and make it myself while Zach is doing his thing. And, okay. Well, we'll see you on the other side of this then.
Are you worried that you aren't using all the best mods? And which ones best suit your needs anyway? Then you need the community voted top 10 mods of 2019. Click the information button now.
Okay, back to Odilon and the shipping routes. Now we have shipping routes and they do go into all the nooks and crannies. But first of all, look at the way this is waving all over the place. Doesn't need to. The ship would be happy going in a straight line. Then we have the right angle turn, which as everybody who's a regular show will know that I'm not a fan of, and will know the reasons why. And these shipping routes look like 1970s TV aerials. With all the right angle jinkies coming out of them. Then down here we've got shipping routes going to all the nooks and crannies on this one as well. Possibly not so bad, or maybe it is, I don't know. Water flow, we're looking at edge of map water flow only. There are no water spawn points on this map, which means that the water is flowing and pushing into all those nooks and crannies. Like here, it's still pushing in and in and in. Evaporation is the only thing taking water away from there, and the same here. Water is pushing in all the way up here. So sewage, if you pump it into there, is going to end up in there big time. So, Mikhail, they're stylized fields. I mean, it's an interesting look. It's a stylized look. All of Mikhail's maps pretty much look like this. You'd have trouble picking one from another. But if you like their maps, then believe me, you have got no end of maps to actually play with. Now, let's have a look at this. I was going to... This area here with this train, if you have a look... Right, it's not a perfectly flat map by any stretch of the imagination. We do have some gentle hills and little gentle bumps across the map. And it's not going to stop you from building. But if we're happy to have gentle hills and bumps, I would have put a hill here. Okay, then put the rail through a cutting and had the highway running over it. Rather than basically running some ramps up for the rail to get gentleish ramps, to be fair. But I would have done it that way, just turn this into like a geographical feature with the highway cutting through. Okay, now hills. There are hills on this map. They look more like sand dune style. They look like they've been moulded by the wind rather than erosion to me. I'm not saying they don't look realistic, because somebody's going to point out that somewhere in Magaloo there are hills that look exactly like this. I'm sure there are. Tree placement, I don't buy into these either, but hey, once again, you might love it, okay? You might. Just because I don't like something, I'm only talking off the top of my... Yeah, I'm talking out my you-know-what half the time. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think this is... the hills are not Mikhail's strong point, which is probably why most of their maps are very flat indeed. Yeah, I'd be quite happy never to see that lump of hill again. So this makes these fields like prime territory. And because we have all these fields, I quite like the fact that you can just pretend that you're buying the fields and building each one in turn. We have got some really high riverbanks in places like here, which I guess is going to protect your Sims from the pollution. That's about 25 meters high there. That is a very, very big lump of surround. Anyway, your chance to vote on the map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your votes really do count. Use them at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10 Best Maps of the Month. Will this be one of the top 10? It could be. Depends what's coming along. I have no idea what's coming along later this month. I think it's got things going for it, yeah? Aesthetically. Okay, I'm going to give some credit, okay. He has his own style. I'm guessing it's a he. It's Mick, isn't it? Mick has their own style, and I think that sets them apart from the rest. I don't think it's a particularly brilliant map. I'm going to give it a low 4. I think it deserves a little bit more than the 3, but only just. You don't know. I'm squeezing my fingers together into like the size of a pea here. About that much over. Yeah, 4 stars. Detailing, it's okay. It could be better. Could be worse. Right down the middle, 3 stars. Gameplay potential, it's very flat, and yeah, it could be sewage-ish. I was going to give it 3 stars because it's kind of uninspiring unless you are a beginner. So I was going to give it 3, but then the water flow issues loses a star. It's 2 stars for gameplay. Sadly, I wanted to give it 3. Odilon by Mikhail, a very typical Mikhail map, and for those of you that like this sort of map, you're going to love it. And it's not a bad map. It's really not a bad map. It just is just more of the same from Mikhail, which if that was Zosso we'd be saying yes please. If it's Mikhail, it's down to what you're looking for. It's not what I'm looking for, it's what you're looking for. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. There is an old map on screen now which has a vote plopped on it as of today, so you might be the first to vote on it if you get in there soon enough. And of course a link to the Steam chart from the weekend. Do go and catch up on that one as well. Thanks for watching, see you tomorrow.